I don't know how much you remember about the old Silk Road. If you look at the history books talking about trade between Europe and China and the caravans that would travel from one end of Europe all the way to the other end of Asia, basically all of Eurasia connected by trade. And the idea that somehow we are going to revive this China Silk Road by the infusion of government money on any end, by any party, I think is absolute foolishness. Now, here's why I say that. The old China Silk Road was done privately. These were traders. These were people whose livelihood depended on being able to move from one place to another place freely without government interference. And obviously, in some places, there was some interference in terms of crossing borders, having to declare what they were carrying. And so the route moved around those countries that caused them problems. And so that route was basically free trade at its finest centuries before. I mean, absolute centuries before the whole discussion about capitalism versus communism versus whatever else. I mean, think about this. Free trade will find a way to get around government interference. And when you have governments pledging money toward infrastructure improvements to try to entice people to do trade, what it does is it interferes with the natural way of doing business. Right now, there already is a new Silk Road. It's online. The Internet. You can trade across borders very easily by going online. Now, obviously, when you're using cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about what country is using which currency because Bitcoin is not a currency. Bitcoin is a completely different kind of commodity. It goes all the way back to the idea of trading in gold. If it doesn't really matter where gold is minted, gold is gold, right? It's the same thing with Bitcoin. It is completely independent from countries making up their own fiat currencies. Same kind of thing with internet trade. If you find that one country like China has blocked access to the internet, you go around and you find a different country, a different person in another place of the world that is able to provide whatever it is that you're looking for. So, when you look at China trying to revive the China Silk Road, and other countries saying, oh no, they're trying to establish hegemony just like the United States did with the Marshall Plan. Of course they are. And it's why we shouldn't bother ourselves with concern over it. Let them build new roads. Let them build new ports. Let them do all the infrastructure they want to. They've pledged $124 million up front in something that could be a $9 billion road in general. And again, a lot of this, the road includes ports and includes maritime routes. And just like the old Silk Road, where the routes of the caravans would change, maritime routes will change. I say, you know what, the best thing we could possibly do for reestablishing any kind of trade is to completely get rid of borders and governments and tariffs and taxes. And oh my goodness, that sounds like anarchy, doesn't it? And that's what capitalism is all about. It is true anarchy in the sense that people are peaceably trading without forcing other people into their store. Something to think about. Love to engage you on this. Either give me a call on the studio line. You'll find it linked right there at the website, radiofreespeech.com, or send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. Thanks.